Hello, Nick here. And we're going to do a test today. Excuse me, a comparison. There's no testing going on here. This is a comparison between two radios. Icom 9500, Elad FDM Duo R. R specifically because this one is just a receiver. Elad actually makes a radio identical to this, almost literally identical, but it has a jack for a microphone because it's a transceiver. So this one is just a receiver. These guys are out of Italy, and I saw this a channel, one of my favorite channels, Oxford Shortwave, a gentleman named Clint. I love his channel. I love his radios, all the stuff. He's one of the guys that initially got me started on this kick. And he has the transceiver version of this, and I saw it and I loved it. So I tried to buy it for a long time, and there were none in this country. This was a couple years ago. And I kept calling back to the American distributor. And he was always out of stock on it. And then finally I called him one time and he had it. And I said, send it. So I got it. And you're going to find out. I'm not going to tell you guys. I don't like to tell you guys what's what. I like to let you all hear it, even though it's coming through maybe a crappy iPhone microphone, okay? Both radios are coming through the same crappy microphone, all right? So y'all make up your own mind. You tell me if you think this is a good receiver or not. We already know this is a pretty good receiver, okay? I've got multiple tests on the Icom. But I'm not going to spoil this with my opinion yet on the Elad. All right? Let you guys make up your own mind. The only downside to the Elad is it's extremely menu driven, but it has to be because of the size. Look at the size of this thing. I mean, you can kind of see it there. I mean, this is tiny, all right? In fact, I had to put this rubber pad up here so that when I push these buttons, because remember, everything's menu driven. When you push the button, if you're not on a really tacky surface, you're pushing the radio. You'll push it off the edge of the table, okay? Because the buttons are really stiff and very tactile, all right? So not only did the buttons push, but they twist with clicks. I mean, these two buttons here basically run the whole radio. It's actually pretty amazing. And you guys know me with menu-driven stuff, all right? I really dislike it. However, I make exceptions when the radio is very small, all right? Because you can't get around it. So the Icom 705 and this radio, I like very much, and I don't mind the menu-drivenness, if that's a word. Excuse my stuffed up sinuses here. It's allergy season. So anyway, I've got the Icom on its own speaker, and I've got the Elad on this Bose right here. Tried to put it right next to the Icom speaker. And I think I have them both set to approximately the same volume output, or at least on AM anyway. So, you know, it looks like the signal might be gone. We'll find out. All right, it's around noontime here, 12:28 p.m. UTC. You can read it right on the Icom because the Icom is awesome, right? It's got 2 clocks, always on, with seconds displayed, all right? I love that. So 1828 UTC, Dallas, Texas. Not a great time for shortwave, but you'll probably find something to listen to. Let's start with the known standard of a pretty good radio, right here, Icom.
Soy la delegada de la circunscripción, ser hoy organizadora de la Federación de Mujeres Cubanas y candidata a diputada de la Asamblea. De verdad que es un reto y un orgullo. Y entonces contarte la confianza.
Read the settings.
Y hoy representándolos más todavía.
I'm going to go through them once for you, then I'm not going to talk because I don't want to talk over this. Preamp off. Attenuation off. Filter 2, you can read the filter size right there. AGC slow. If I change any of it, you'll either see it here or you'll see it here. And if I hit the sync, I hit this button, the AM button again, and then you'll see AM sync light up. Okay? See, not a very strong signal. Much stronger. Thought I had him on the same volume.
José Ramón Silva es el secretario residente de la Escuela Primaria José Rodríguez López. Estamos seguros de que lo que se elige en nuestro país está en función de resolver los problemas de la población cubana, del pueblo cubano. Agradecer una vez más la presencia de ustedes y vivamos todos confiados de que el próximo mes, en el proceso electoral, todo va a salir como debe ser. Bien, en cada una de las comunidades se intercambiaron criterios sobre.
See, I try to turn what I was messing with, try to turn it off, and it goes to the next setting. I can't remember. I think I have to wait for it to default out. Maybe if I hit this. There we go. Okay. 11,760.
Se nominan en un 50% por las organizaciones de masas y estudiantiles que forman parte de la sociedad.
So you can see the filter shape, and as I go bigger and smaller, that upside down horseshoe will get bigger and smaller. But if you want to see the filter size, we got to come down here. 6,000 is 6 kilohertz is the largest.
Si usted desea comunicarse con Cuba Online, solo tiene que dirigir sus comentarios a la siguiente dirección electrónica: radiohc@nt.cu, a nuestra página en Facebook.
See that? 6 kilohertz. Still hear it pretty good. Hit 7, boom, the brick wall shuts it off. Now, typically, to me, a 6 kilohertz filter is 3 on either side. Apparently this one's running 6 on either side.
Comunicación. Recuerde, somos Cuba Online desde los estudios centrales de Radio.
Boom, gone.
De las Antillas.
Let's try a different filter. Try it. 3.
Lo más actual del deporte en Cuba y el resto del mundo, hoy con Raúl Rodríguez Fernández.
Gone.
Un saludo para la audiencia de Radio Habana, Cuba.
Gone.
Con voleibol.
It's got brick wall filters. So, in my opinion, the 6 kilohertz is actually a 12 kilohertz, and the 3 is a 6. At least that's the way I do it. So let's switch back to the Icom. Let me mute this. So this is set on 6. Let's see how the Icom does that filter thingy. See, it's gone at 5, gone at 4. There at 3, gone at 4. So the Icom, when it says 6, it's plus or minus 3. This radio, when it says 6, it's plus or minus 6. The Texans, the Sanjins, they all do the same thing. In my opinion, this is the way it should be. It's 6. The passband is 6 kilohertz. This passband is 12 kilohertz. All right. I wish there was some standard in the industry on that. I mean, not that you can't work your way around it if you know your radio, right? So, like when you first get this and you see that you can run this, you can adjust these filters up to, I think, 10 kilohertz on this radio for AM. And this radio stops at 6. Your initial impression is, wow, you're cheating yourself out of 4 kilohertz in your passband. No, you're not. You're getting 12, okay? So you're actually gaining 2. So it's like comparing an apple to a cucumber. Anyway, let's go back. They both sound very nice.
En la pasada campaña, en otro duelo, el Paramaconde de San José se afianzó en los puestos del playoff.
Ahí, la región costera al norte de la capital.
Con tiempo de 49.
Trying to find a weak signal so I can test sync. Maybe in the 13s they'll have something. See if there's anything in the 10s yet, or 9s. Dang.
Uno, cero, uno. Todavía con... San Francisco y...
Looking forward.
All right. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to find a nice weak signal. Darn it.
Otros fiscales de... Y Carlos de Foucault, sí, que vieron, o sea, una vida demasiado desorden.
En la final de la
here, and wanting to do more founded the rescue mission. Your calling life was discovered, and an angel of
I'm getting jacked here on AM.
The hours are long.
Sorry,
the
guys.
is vast, yet the satisfaction you derive from saving these precious innocent...
All right, so let's show you how you tune this radio.
y voluntarios continúan este lunes las labores de control de un incendio.
Here's part of the pain in the ass. So we're at 11.7. We want to go to 15.770. You press this, and you get the steps. So that's the largest step is 12.5. You could tune pretty quick. Well, but then you got to come back to the one you want. So, oops, what did I just do? Look at that. Oh, look at that. Step, 1,000 kilohertz. I thought that was 1 kilohertz. Okay, so there is a megahertz. All right, I didn't pay attention. drop this down to 1 kilohertz.
So welcoming the work we do. I felt so humbled and so honored. In recognition of loving devotion and tireless rescue efforts,
Oops.
saving
That's not
countless
what I
precious
wanted.
animal lives, inspiring
Filter.
community
So
members,
3 and 6 are the same.
in deep, heartfelt gratitude for your amazing services to vulnerable wildlife and for nurturing
Volume is up here when you're on the frequency screen.
In her letter to Supreme Master Chinhai, Yolandi wrote,
To get out of that, you tap this. Now there is, let's look at the, so there's squelch, AGC, you can turn it slow, fast. You can probably turn it off and set RF gain, or you can set the AGC threshold. Noise reduction.
Joint and joint transaction amount went from $3 million in 2021 to an estimated $7.8 million in 2022. That progress comes from the company's expansion of online distribution channels and gaining offline customers.
Wow, that's got a pretty nice NR.
Convenience stores and hypermarket chains. The food tech startup has also continued.
All right, let's
research
compare that
on
to the
vegetable-
Icom.
as alternatives and vegetable flavor development, as well as launched new plant-based products that include vegan croissants and meals. A big thumbs up, join and join for your amazing achievements. In Buddha's radiance, we wish you much future success while helping noble Koreans enjoy the kind-hearted plant-based lifestyle.
Famous scientists rank dog people.
Dang, it's like the Icom's not even doing anything.
Researchers
Interesting.
from the University of Helsinki, Finland, recently conducted intelligence
Sync.
tests on more than 1,000 dog individuals representing 13 different breeds. A range of skills were examined, including problem.
Unfortunately, this one does not have sync, and I'm amazed because it's a SDR. It's a true SDR. That means it's basically a computer that looks like a radio.
35 out of 39 points. In second place was the Border Collie with 26 points. By the Pavlov and the Spanish water dog, the scientists, however, highlighted that a cognitive profile for each breed was more helpful than the general ranking, as the dog folk often excel in different areas. Fascinating news, researchers from the University of Helsinki.
Thing is, once you pass what you want, you got to go all the way around again. That's that bullshit menu thing.
Be protected in each nation as we care for them in the best way possible in divine love.
This one is a very, very nice NR. If this had a sync, I bet it would be great. Doesn't. You can't believe it. Or I haven't found it, and I think I was through everything. Anyway. All right, let's go to
My share of the work. Well, actually, it wasn't that bad. Everyone was happy to see my work. I was in charge of reading celebrity news online.
okay, let's go to that beacon I always like to chase. All right. CW 200 hertz preamp. Now I have for Diego and for Robert, I have the pitch set at 680. And then up here, you can set the pitch. See that? 680. I'm learning. Unless I just screwed something up and you'll better just tell me. All right. So while you're listening to that, I'm going to tune this because it takes me half an hour to get this thing up to 28 megahertz. How did I do that before? Look at all the trouble I have to go through to get this to 28,209.07. Unacceptable to me. All right, where does it show the mode? AM, so AM, so let's hit CW plus. All right, NR, we don't need NR yet, so let's go back up in here. Now you gotta come all the way around again. NR off, okay. I don't know what that says. Oh, that just tells you what mode you're in up here. Oh, I never noticed that before. Okay. All right. Now, preamp is on here. I didn't see a preamp on this one. Let's see if I could, I'll go through it again. Auto notch, volume, squelch. Well, my buddies like me to put this on fast. Okay. That's maximum volume. Oh, we didn't check the filter. All right. Wow, 100, 300. Well, since it's got 100, let's run it. Mr. Icom, though, watch this. Ooh, 50. Let's see what that sounds like. Bam! Mess with the best, die like the rest. It didn't need the 50 hertz. It actually, to me, sounds better at 100. Sounds fine at 200. Yeah. Don't mess with this. Don't mess with this. It'll take you down every time. Back up top. See if I can get any more volume out of this Bose. Okay. All right, I had to max out the Bose speaker there. We're up top. We're on the smallest filter. Pitch 680 to match this pitch. 680. Let's come up and, for giggles, let's hit the NR. We're on fast. Didn't need it. Actually, well, so if I go up there, that takes a little of that spaceman sound out of the background. All right, back down to the Icom. Man, okay. Observations so far. Don't mess with the Icom. Although this is a great, great radio, especially considering the thing is only this big. Okay. Obviously, this does not have an internal power supply. You have to plug it into something. A 12-volt battery. I've got it plugged into my linear power supply. You got to plug it into something. And as you know, both radios are on my Wellbrook antenna mounted outdoors, running through the Stridesburg multi-coupler. But this sounds great, and it performs great. Let's go to that Maritime Net on 14. Maybe I got that saved. Yep, I do. 3.1. No preamp. AGC slow.
Yep,
2.3. Now, wait for me for about 20 minutes while I get this sucker tuned down there.
You're still up at a 7, so your 10 watts of your antenna are giving you a just fine. Okay, 7, Juliet Echo Foxtrot, 6 Alpha 6 Foxtrot Hotel. Did I lose you to that guy up down a little bit from us? Okay. Bomback as often as you can, Jeff. Nice to hear from you again. Clear Kilo 7, Juliet Echo Foxtrot. Over.
Whiskey Uniform 5 Echo.
Yeah, 50 Uniform 5 Echo, and there was another, someone who said good morning, dog. Again, give your phone back, please. You know, I think that's the first time that I did not recognize your voice right off of the hop plane.
We're still in the Icom.
Let me pick up my Whiskey Uniform 5 Echo first. I'll be back to you. Go ahead.
I got the volume.
All
maxed
right,
out.
so good morning to you, or good afternoon, I think now. WU5E, Jim in Casita, Georgia, where your signal is about S8 coming into the shack right now, and I hope everything's doing well. It's currently 72 degrees in southwest Georgia right now, 72 degrees, wind out of the west coming in at 10 to 15 right now. Hope you're doing well. I have no traffic.
And I'll be riding along with you to the top of the hour. WU5E. Okay, Jim, Casetta. In Georgia, you have a nice S8 signal, but I'll tell you what. Even pointing to the nose is not pointing anywhere near you. I'll bet you if I haven't you'd be an S9 plus over.
Yeah, Roger. I got my beam up now, 50 feet, running about 1,200 watts over.
Good for you. What a difference. Good to hear that. Yes. You take care, Steve. Is there anything I can do for you?
Oh, negative. I'll be riding along if you need any assistance. WU5E.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm serving with Uniform 5 Echo, Caseta, Georgia. And by the way, we're still 5 minutes from noon. In Lex Street.
They both sound very nice. It's just really hard to get where you need to be up here. I mean, you got to have someone holding the radio down, then you got to have someone pushing buttons, then you got to have someone standing over your shoulder watching you to tell you when you passed what you wanted to be at, and tell you, say, no, dummy, go back the other way, because it is really, really hard to do this menu stuff. It's a pain in the butt. So, we're on the top radio. Bottom radio. All right, let's go to, I don't know, what can we listen to? Let's go to...
TV.com top schedule.
At JCB.
That's air. Here's my utilities. Well, that's AM signal. More beacons. Alright, let's go to, I don't know, let's mess with a little long wave maybe. Alright, 2 hours to change this. That's as small as I can go. It's 2.5. Now, does that mean it's 5 kilohertz? I don't know. See, now I got to go all the way back around to get to my dang filter. Nah. It sounds the same though once you finally get there. Yeah, this sounds a little better. Not surprised though. All right, let's go to a strong AM broadcast signal.
Kind of what happens when you get a second star. Drama.
Always worried about losing that second star,
Or the first.
Yeah?
Nobody's talking about Dorian Finney-Smith.
Dallas was in the game this weekend. Did you see the Zion stuff? They were asking his favorite place, his favorite city besides New Orleans.
I think that's old.
No, it was this weekend.
Look at the bar.
They were interviewing him.
Okay, well, he said that a couple weeks ago, too.
Oh, okay. Maybe I got...
He's sitting there with Brandon Ingram. And
No, you're right, Dan. He did, because it was about best atmosphere for a game, road game. He said, yeah, Dallas.
And there was a weird tweet that was like, what does Zion have going on in Dallas?
Yeah, so I guess it might be stemming from that one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But then they followed up on it at, perhaps it was Media Day.
Okay.
But yes, the one where he was sitting with two of his teammates, and they're like, yeah, man, why do you
What do
love
you got
Dallas?
going on there?
Tell us about Dallas.
Yeah.
And he's just got a smile like, it's a great place for pieces.
It's a great place for pieces.
But what? Let's take you back. So we got
This whole thing is LeBron and Kyrie. Like you said, drama. Now you got drama
on your team. And man, I guess I have to save it. Kyrie had a 20-minute long media interaction for,
Neither of these were ever really set up for fidelity. So, this one might sound slightly better, but it's got theoretically, it's got a 12 kilohertz filter versus a potential 10 kilohertz filter. So, whatever. Then again, it's got it, and this one doesn't. So you can't slag it for that. The only thing you can slag it for is it takes you 45 minutes to get to it, or to find it. Then another 15 minutes to get it where you want it. And then, God forbid, you turn it off and go away and try and adjust the volume to come back to it. You got to go all the way back around. It doesn't come back and leave it there for you. Insanity. But it's a good radio. Sounds great. Performs really, really well. Not quite as good as this one, in my opinion. AM broadcast, yeah, it's great. The CW, you heard it. Even though this one has a 100 hertz filter, this one was still, this one's got a 50 hertz filter, okay? But it didn't need it. It still sounded better. Not to mention I could get there in literally 1.5 seconds, all right, versus 15 minutes. And it's two hands. You got to hold the dang thing. You try to push a button, and the radio's actually moving, all right? Yeah. So, what else can I tell you? That's it. This sits in the shelf because of the menu-driven stuff. Like if I was to go out on like some kind of DXpedition or something, obviously I'd take my Icom 705. All right, that's what I take. But let's say that got burned up in a fire or something. I'd probably take this because it's small and it's light. And it works great. It's just it takes 45 minutes to find anything. Anyway. All right. Got any comments? Put them down there. Let me know what you think of the Elad. Or the Icom. Whatever. All right. Thanks for hanging out.